Imagine a world where Chernobyl accident never occurred. Imagine a world where we won't have 3,000 people killed a day only in car crashes. And that is the world that Side Proposition offers to you in this debate. I, as the first speaker of Side Proposition, will explain to you this through 3 substantive points. In first substantive point, I will talk about how implementing this motion will lead to increase of living standard. In second substantive point, I will explain to you how by implementing this motion, it will come to a change in concept of labor and people will no longer work because they need to work. And third substantive point, explained to you by the second speaker of Side Government, will talk about how artificial intelligence can be beneficial for undeveloped countries as well. But first, let me define certain things in this motion. We believe that AI is science on how to achieve machines execute tasks that would require intelligence of a human being. And artificial intelligence is based on the concept that machines learn by themselves. However, we need to be aware of the fact that AI isn't creative, which means that it still needs to have certain guidelines that will always be set by humans. We believe that people are the ones that are controlling the development of artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence itself. We also, as the Side Proposition, believe that we should support the development of AI in fields of economy, education, healthcare, administration, and science. It is also important to know that people are adaptive human beings. We have adapted to various situations throughout the history, and we can see examples of this throughout all of human history. For example, cell phones. 50 years ago, it was unthinkable that today we will all use cell phones, and look at us now. It's 2015, and we are all using one, and some of us even have more. And this shows us how people fastly adapt to new situations. Moving on to my first substantive point, where we are claiming that living standards will increase because of the use and development of artificial intelligence. But first, let me explain what living standards actually are. Those are the values that ensure basic human dignity and needs, and they are determined by the availability and efficiency of services needed to sustain life, such as healthcare, food, or education. And they are very important because the higher living standards we have, the better life is. But how does AI manages to increase our living standards? Well, easily, because once you pay for an AI, it does all your work for as long as you need. In comparison to a human worker, it is more profitable, quicker, cheaper, and it doesn't let its personal job, for example, affect its work. And therefore, employers will benefit if they start to use artificial intelligence. Another specific thing to artificial intelligence is that it can eliminate human errors, both in production and in everyday life. For example, self-driving cars. In the past 6 years, since they have been out on roads testing, there has been only 11 car crashes, and none of them was fault of the AI, but rather it was a human mistake. Also, AI can be very beneficial because it can replace people whose jobs are dangerous. For example, it can replace people who work currently in minefields or mines. And employers can also program and reprogram AI an infinite number of times, while you should educate and re-educate a human worker in order to get the same result, and that can sometimes take a long time and be very expensive. Okay, and how does this actually affect our living standard? Well, easily, because AI makes an employer earn more, and because due to an AI, firm will have more money. Then we, through taxes, then we can tax those firms more, and no, thank you. Through taxes, ensure basic income for every person that has lost their job due to artificial intelligence. And that not only that those people have ensured basic income, but also the prices of the products will fall. The same reason, no, thank you. You may ask yourself why. Well, if you have a lot of people that cannot simply buy your products, then your company will not be profitable. In order to make some profit, you need to lower prices on your products so that people could buy them, and then you make money. And that is why the prices of the products will fall. With falling prices of the products and basic income that all people will have, the living standards will rise. And that is why we believe that you should implement this motion. Moving on to my second substantive point. Okay, you may.
How can you sustain a system which is unfair towards people that can or have to work still in your country because AI simply did not exchange them?
Well, AI will all companies that earn money will buy AI, and then in the long term, AI will be more profitable, and as I already explained, it will be sustainable. Okay, moving to my second substantive point. We support this motion because it will lead to changing the concept of labor and increasing the chance of innovation and progress of society. In this argument, I will show you two things. First, how through implementing this motion, we ensure basic subsistence for every human being, and how through implementing this motion, we will lead to improvement and innovation in society. Okay, currently the concept of labor needs to change. We believe that labor should ensure you two basic things, and those are subsistence and sense of self-worth. And today, it is not the case with, neither is the case with labor. And we are going to tackle both problems by implementing artificial intelligence. Firstly, we see that even in the richest countries, people are living below the poverty line. For example, in Germany, there are 12 million people who live that way. And if production gets cheaper, more effective, and quicker, and all people have guaranteed their basic income, then living standards rise. And we no longer have people who are living below poverty line, as I already showed to you in our first argument. And that is how we tackle the first problem. We tackle the second problem like this. Labor should allow you to feel your self-worth, which is awfully hard in the current system, because you are doing the same repetitive jobs for someone else. And if you support this motion, then artificial intelligence will simply start to do that boring repetitive job for someone else, and people will no longer need to deal with something that they are not interested in, but they will they will rather be able to devote themselves into something that really interests them. And when you have a lot of people that are doing something that really interests them, then they start to try. After a graduate transition, new generations won't consider, for example, the white-collar jobs that now AI will do as something that is meant for them, because as something that is meant for them. For example, Ludism. In the past, the first generation caught up by Ludism perceived machines as something bad, but already the second, third, and all other generations after that perceived machines as something that is there to help them. And the same thing will happen with artificial intelligence. With this, when you have people who do something that interests them, and when they no longer perceive white-collar jobs as something meant for them, also the concept of education will change. People will now educate for knowledge itself, but not to gain profit. And when you have a lot of people that are gaining knowledge just because they are interested in this kind of knowledge, then those people are becoming more mutually competitive, because we have a larger amount of people educating, for example, for a physicist, and then those people need to improve their ideas and products in order to become more competitive. And that way we progress as a society, because this brings to more inventions, to more productions, and to more new ideas that are going to be good. And also it is very important to mention that AI is certainly not going to replace human beings in all sectors of production. For example, there are some workplaces that AI simply cannot replace. For example, humanity. AI isn't meant for human interactions in psychology or in sciences, where AI isn't creating, and it can be only a help for scientists, but it cannot replace it. Okay, because all of the things that I have mentioned to you today in my speech, and because by implementing this motion, this will lead to progress of society, I beg you to propose in this debate. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, in our case, we're going to challenge the premise that proposition has brought, that artificial intelligence can be controlled, and mostly that it is created by the humans. We'll show you that artificial intelligence actually creates itself, and that we do only provide basis for the creation, and I'm going to draw consequences that will all lead to consequences that are negative. And but firstly, in the means of rebuttal, I'm going to talk about how the proposed idea of how the world would look like after introduction of artificial intelligence is not only unfair towards some amount of people, some part of people, but it's also not realistic and lacks reality check. So first of all, they are saying that we are able to raise living standards, and thank you, and we'll be able to give money to people that don't need to work anymore, because their job is done by some machine. We believe that this is unfair, because some people will still have to work and earn their wages, and some people will just have to lie around and do nothing. No, thank you. Not only it is unfair, but we can see that this system is already used in today's society when you have social packages for those in need, and you can see that the money provided for them is not enough, and they cannot really have a sustainable life standard that the proposition wants to have. No, thank you. And even if all of that was true, even if all of that wasn't true, we still believe that the very idea of robots doing our jobs will lead for us to become lazy. And I'm going to explain this point in our substantive line. And the last point of rebuttal is that as they or the next point is that as they are trying to show us that the AI will be used for good, we also are pointing our fingers in the air because we believe that as many things that were invented and as it becomes usual, technology is also used for bad things. For example, nuclear energy or internet or I don't know, other things. No, thank you. And they have never showed us how they are going to prevent misuse of artificial intelligence, and we're going to show you that that is a great risk. Now, to our substantive matter, we believe that we have played gods many times, but right now we're not only playing gods in the means of creation. What we also do is that we are going to create a next god. In the means of, they themselves said that artificial intelligence will be something that has higher cognitive abilities. It will be more intelligent than us. And we are not able to create something, no thank you, very recent to your definition. And we're not able to create something that is beyond our understanding. Because, you know, we cannot create further understanding if we do not have it. Now, what happens is that AI works on the basis of self-awareness and evaluation, and it learns and it is able to enhance its own abilities. And by that means, we create something that is able to gain its intelligence. So we're not able to say what it will be and how it will look like, but we are certain for sure for its higher computing power, greater memory, and well, greater skills at all. That it will be of much higher conscious, and therefore it will be superior to us by intelligence.
Sir?
Yes.
Don't you think if we're the ones who are developing this AI, we will also be able to sustain it, to control it to the matter where we think...
Well, when you have some... Okay, the really easy answer to that is whether you think that chimpanzees could really control us. Because that is what is going to happen, and I'm going to further that example, but before that, it works like that. If you have higher intelligence, it can reason and higher depth, it can understand more, and it can have its own sense of morality, and it can have its own principles. No, thank you. Its own principles that we cannot implement in because it is the intelligence that itself that it creates. And now, so let's take a look at the example of chimpanzees. So chimpanzees can recognize people, can recognize skyscrapers, but they do not have the cognitive abilities to understand what is a skyscraper. They no, thank you. They do not know how it was built, how they can build it, and they don't know how a human built it. And that is what we are telling to you, that will be chimpanzees compared to AI. And that is what is going to happen. Now, we believe that we have just created something that is superior, and that will be on the top of a new food chain that is based by intelligence. Because as we can see, we as the most intelligent species in the world have most power and have control over the world. And since AI will be more intelligent, it can gain control and overrule us and be superior. Now, and we So we do not have ability to understand the AI, and therefore we cannot predict what it will do. Now, let me draw three most possible cases and show you that all of those are bad. First is that it is going to extinguish us. So we're not certain why it should do so, but we know many examples from history, as we extinguished species that were inferior to us. Same thing can happen to us, because those species will be superior. They do not feel the need to take care about us or do anything with us, so they will just wipe us out. And this is what we actually do, and this is a common thing for a superior race to do. And now, even if this wasn't true, they still would be the dominant species in this world. By that means, as we do, as we own the world and shape the world the way we want to right now, and it will no longer be anthropocentric, in the means of that the world will no longer be there for us, but for the AI. And now, even if that wasn't true, and first time in the history, the superior intelligence would decide to work for an inferior race, it will dehumanize people and still lead to negative consequences, as my second speaker will explain.
As the side proposition supports progress and new evolution, we clearly see and understand that the side opposition had little to say about our case. That's the first problem we have with the side opposition. Today, what I'm going to do is do a quick refutation in 2 points on the side of opposition. First point, I will straighten our case about and explain how we see the society with the AI and what are the benefits of it. I will straighten that and answer some of the questions we've seen from the side opposition. And the second point of refutation will be about their I suppose, substantive about misuse of the AI and how it is not going to happen. And in the end, I will lay out our third substantive about how the AI actually could help third world countries in development. So let's begin with explaining our case even more and refuting the side of opposition. So what we are saying is that once AI starts developing, it will be a process that will take some time. But once it develops to its highest form, and by highest form we mean our controlled form that we can control, because it is in the society's interest to control the amount of advancement of the artificial intelligence. Once we reach that goal, once we reach this level, we see that the AI is very cheap, we see that the AI is very efficient, and as it is very intelligent, it is also very precise and fast and easy to reprogram. That's why we believe that these big industries will implement AI in creating their businesses, and that's why we believe that these living standards that Sonia talked about will rise, because as production will become cheaper, the food will become cheaper, and it will be easier for people to access. Why? Because once you have AI taking over jobs in the world, which we don't see will happen instantly and not at the same time in all parts of the world, but this is something that is our final goal, we believe that when AI takes all of these jobs, people that no longer have to work now have the possibility to gain some basic income. How will we achieve this basic income? As work from the AI is now very, very cheap, the states and the countries will be able to tax these industries more and provide greater basic income to the whole society. And now, as we know, as Sonia said, some jobs will remain in the higher sectors, in the workplaces which AI simply cannot fill, that are creative, that are based on communicating with humans, and so on. And in those jobs, in those workforces that push the society forward, in those workforces where new discoveries are achieved, and in those workplaces where humans make a great deal. So we believe that now people with this basic income will all have the same chance to educate for some higher purposes. There will no longer be a misconception of work as something we have to do to get food on our table. We will no longer have to work 12 hours a day to have some bread and milk. Now this is given to us by this universal basic income, and we believe this is very important because now people have A, the chance to educate in something that they really want to do, B, to do something that they really want to do, and C, to maybe have some free time to self-actualize and to do things that they couldn't do before. And the fourth big benefit of this is that competition arises, because you have these, as I said, these workplaces that push the society forward in discoveries, and you have lots of people applying for those workforces. So this means with lots of people who have time to educate, you have more competition and better results. And this is the society that we want to achieve, and this is what AI will eventually achieve. Now, to move on to our rebuttal about their misuse. So we believe that it is in society's interest to control the development of the AI. Now we know it has the possibility to learn by itself, but it also depends on human programming, which means we can program it in a certain way that appeals to us, which means that there will be no global AI takeover, there will be no Skynet from Terminator, because humans are smart enough and will use the AI to their capabilities. And also, just a second, AI has no creativity, which means it won't be able to replace you. Yeah, sure.
Okay, why didn't this happen with nuclear power, and why nuclear power was not controlled but misused against us?
Okay, that was misused against us because it served as a weapon to some forces. And yes, this is bad, but it served as a weapon for some forces. But the AI isn't serving as a weapon for some forces. In their case, it is taking us over, and it is not in our interest for the AI to take humans over. And this is where we find the difference, because nuclear power has no power to destroy the human race unless there is a war. And AI has the possibility, the intelligence, to take us over without a war, to outlast us and outsmart us. And that is why humans will take great care about developing this AI. And when they say that we should stop the use and development and research of the AI because it could sometimes potentially become dangerous, doesn't mean that we should stop developing anything that could sometimes, maybe potentially in one case of 0.01% become dangerous. We believe it's a false logical presumption, because if that was the case, we would not develop some things that could be of some nature, which we see in nuclear energy. But nuclear energy also provides us with power, also provides with electricity, and it's a big and important thing in our today society, because it gives us great benefits, and we still believe we should research that to give us as a society a better life. So, moving on to our third substandard, about how we support this motion, because the AI can help in developing the third goal. Today, a lot of international organizations organize help for third world countries, but they lack efficiency, they lack speed and versatility. And AI can help here, because even today we see AI being used in everyday situations, such as self-driving cars, as Sonia already mentioned. So we can assume that AI will become cheaper over the years, and this will enable us to distribute it all over the world to some undeveloped countries for it to help there. Why? Because we see that today these countries have a great problem of lacking infrastructure and basic needs. For example, schools, medical institutions, sanitary institutions. And how is AI good for solving this? Because AI is easily transportable, efficient and easily adaptable, as it can be easily reprogrammed. And this is important because the developing countries are in need of just that. And AI also increases the possibility of long-term solutions, because it can be reprogrammed and it can do lots of stuff that humans could never do, with more efficiency and more versatility. So, and another problem with third world countries today is corruption. Because today, if we want to help third world countries, we send money there, and that money often ends up in the wrong hands. But now, if we send the AI there, there is no chance of it being exploited in the wrong way, and that's why I believe this is also a great deal. So, we support this motion because the AI can efficiently help the third world countries while minimizing some risks, because it can build its infrastructure and help them get on their feet on their own. So, in this speech, I've shown you a couple of things. I've furtherly explained the society that is our goal through the AI. I have tackled their substantive about misuse, and I also explained to you how the AI can be very efficient in third world countries, and because of this, we beg you to propose.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my speech, I'm going to prove you how the benefits that the team proposition is trying to prove to us today are not worth the cost of the AI. But before I move to explaining you how it is inevitably more harm than good, I'm going to tackle their final substantive point. They brought up that AI could help developing countries and that the lack of intelligence in those countries is able to be replaced by the artificial intelligence. But ladies and gentlemen, even in today's society, we have developments, we have inventions that are very smart and they can better lives of others. But simply, such countries as Sudan, for example, are unable to pay the costs of these inventions. And of course, the developed technology such as AI is like the furthest we get in the developing of the technology is not going to be like the amount of money for Sudan to pay to help their situation. Simply, those countries cannot buy these things. Okay, moving on to the questions. Sorry, debate. No, thank you. Until this point. Okay, the first we are talking about how the AI actually works and if it can replace people. So, ladies and gentlemen, the team of proposition is trying to weasel the debate and try to take the controversy out of it simply by saying that AI does not work like AI does. They were trying to say to us that AI works like you program it and it does everything you tell it. But simply, this is not AI, this is like programming computers, for example, right? What the AI is, and the difference between AI and other technologies, is that you just give basis to the AI and it can develop itself and create itself upon these bases, right? The AI can evaluate information and make some opinions out of those information, and the AI is learning upon these evaluation of information, and it creates itself upon these, and then it can develop itself, and then it can be more creative, more productive. And that's how it becomes like so strong. Because the bases are not the artificial intelligence, but what the artificial intelligence learn, that's the artificial intelligence. Okay, the next point. How jobs are going to be replaced. We have a couple of answers to that. The first, it is so unfair for people that are not going to lose their jobs. They have to still work and they're not going to be having money from the government. The government is only going to be giving money to people who lost their jobs, right? This is so unfair to the people that were studying lawyering and not technology. Second answer, ladies and gentlemen, we believe this system is so unfair simply because people are getting so less money than they could earn in their jobs, simply because the social policies are not really having a lot of money to invest to the people, and simply, and simply not giving people everything they could gain if they would work. For example, as programmers, right? Because programmers earn a lot of money. Third answer, ladies and gentlemen, even if this would be true, that it would be sustainable and somehow lawyers would be satisfied with working for as much money as people who are not working, we believe that that jobs are what create humanity, right? People creating something and people doing things that creates
exactly, sir.
No, thank you. That creates what makes us human. And now I take your POI.
Okay, I'll take it then. We're not saying that lawyers will have the same pay as those with basic income. We say that there still will be jobs that are going to get paid, those jobs which AI cannot replace.
Yes, of course. But we are saying that this is simply unfair because I didn't like philosophy, but I like mathematics. I'm gonna earn less money than lawyers, right? Okay. So to answer to the point of an abusability that the team of proposition was trying to prove to us, where they're saying that we did not control the nuclear power because simply it didn't have the very dangerous means as artificial intelligence does, right? But ladies and gentlemen, we probably did know that nuclear power is very strong, and we knew that we can make nuclear bomb before we knew that we can make nuclear energy in electric plants.
Exactly, sir.
No, thank you. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, we believe, and even though we were not able to control the mechanisms and unable nuclear power to be misused, and this is going to happen with artificial with artificial intelligence. It only is enough if someone gets the basis of artificial intelligence who doesn't like something, for example, terrorist groups, or someone who is against government, and it is very easy for them to then misuse it and threaten us all. Okay, getting to our and the fourth point, ladies and gentlemen, as they were saying that nuclear power has its costs, but we still use it because simply it gives us so much power. Then the only benefits that they brought up were people not pushed in actually working, and so we want to do boring jobs. But ladies and gentlemen, this leads us to our final substantive points. But before that, yes.
Don't you believe that a society where no one has to work but can do things that they want and still get basic income is good?
Well, I'm going to explain in our two final substantive points, or like this, the consequences, negative consequences, why this is so bad. Okay, so moving to our final substantive point, the negative consequences of the artificial intelligence. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this point, the humanity is going to be extinct. At first, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that artificial intelligence is dehumanizing society today. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at how artificial intelligence is going to replace us and what's going to mean. At first, some jobs are going to be replaced by the artificial intelligence. We are talking, for example, white-collar jobs, right? We are going to go somewhere and we're not going to talk with humans, we are going to talk with machines, right? And restaurants, for example. If there are going to be a waitress, if there's going to be a waitress that is artificial intelligent machine, is not human, we simply are losing the social connections with people. And why this is bad? Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the social connections are something that creates the society. We have friends, that we have people we talk to, and we have someone that challenges us, and that we have thank you, and we have someone that we can create something with. So at first we are going to lose social connections. But what is going to happen if they're going to replace all our jobs? Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that people are species that inevitably need to create something in order to be productive, right? They need to do something in order to enjoy their stay on the earth, and in order to be the part of society, right? This is like the Maslow pyramid. You only enjoy all the needs in a society if you're productive. If you give something to the society, then you're taking something back. We believe that people need to work in order to be proper human beings. But furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to say to us that people, if they are not forced to do jobs, they're going to do something that they like. But ladies and gentlemen, we can see today that today's artificial intelligence is able to do the creative jobs even better than human beings. For example, artificial intelligence that draw pictures can analyze all the masterpieces from the history and produce something new and create something more creative that a human can. So ladies and gentlemen, we proved it in today's debate. They never analyze and outweigh the costs and benefits. What I do, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot be replaced by the artificial intelligence, and simply we should not support its development. Thank you.
What it really scares me in this debate is that the side of opposition is living in a medieval age. That people in the 21st century are thinking in a way research should be stopped. Every kind of development should be thought, should be well thought, and should be considered, and every benefit of it or every consequence that might happen should prevent it of happening. What actually happened in this debate, I'm going to explain it through three different points. First, I'm going to refute the things that happened in the second speech of the side of opposition, and all the factual things that were said wrong, and the evidences that are clearly not true and are based on wrong presumptions. Then we are going to talk about the definition of AI, which the side of opposition has the problem with in this debate, and then we are going to talk about the impacts of artificial intelligence in today's world. So let's start with a bit of refutation. So we have the side of opposition that comes in the second speech and tells us, okay, yeah, there is a point of government will not give government will not give money. Government will not create the basic income for it will not be possible to give the basic income to its citizens. What we see here is the main issue of not listening to this debate, not actively participating in this discussion. Why do we see this? Because as we clearly stated in the proposition A1 speech, is that we stated that we have taxes that are currently given to the citizens of the country. We have that are paid currently by the citizens of the country. What is actually happening is that these taxes are going to be these taxes are going to be are going to give more money to the government, because now the companies will pay more money because they will earn more money, and that's why the government will have the possibility to equally distribute that money to the people. When talking about the jobs in this case, we have also one more problem with the side of opposition clearly not listening to this debate and not actively participating once again. Why? Because the side of opposition wasn't listening to the point of having a hobby in status quo. Okay, people today have hobbies. What happens in the situation when people lose their jobs and don't have anything to do? We are not preventing you to be a mathematician or a physician or anything that you want in this world. We are just giving you the possibility to work without a constant repetition in that work, without the fear of getting fired, or without the fear of being replaced by someone else. Here we are giving you the benefit of doing something because you love it. If you love mathematics, you will do mathematics still. Nobody will say you can't do it. If some machine will do it better, who cares? You will still be able to do it. You will still be able to invent stuff. This is all the possibilities that are going to happen with the AI. Then,
that point, sir.
No, thank you, sir. Then we have the problem of nuclear power that is said in the second speech. So yeah, we have the problem that an atomic bomb was thrown at the Hiroshima. But what we learned from that, and what actually happened, is that scientists restricted the development of atomic bomb. Why do we see that? Because the hydrogen bomb that is actually stronger than a nuclear bomb and develops from the nuclear bomb was never actually created, was never actually thrown somewhere, because people consider the impacts of this kind of bigger bomb and bombing someone else. But also, let's see the other examples of, I don't know, electricity. Yes, at the first, it killed a lot of people, but actually, as the time passed, we learned that it helped people to live to live in the dark. So we see the problems on the side of the opposition, not clearly understanding how the researchers work in the real world. Okay, well, now let's move to the things that are the most important in the debate. So the side, no, thank you, sir. So what we have the problem in this debate is that the side of the opposition is not clearly understanding the definition that we stated in the first speech. They are changing the strategy of defining the artificial intelligence, and they are not quite sure what do they mean by artificial intelligence. Either it will be more intelligent over us, either will be more faster or something like that over us. Okay, we agree that artificial intelligence will bring benefits, as the side of the opposition partially agrees with it, because it states that it will be more efficient, more quicker, and it will bring more money. But what they clearly do not understand, that when defining artificial intelligence, people are the ones that are restricting this definition. People are the ones that are creating the world where artificial intelligence will act. When the MIT experts say, and we have that in our definition, that people are going to be the ones that are going to control artificial intelligence, and people are going to be the ones that will define what artificial intelligence boundaries will be, then we can conclude that we will be able to control it. We do not want to be extinct. If people wanted to be extinct, people would create a hydrogen bomb 20 years ago, or people will probably take their guns when they were invented and start shoot at each other, because they have possibility to kill each other and to use this invention in a bad way. So we must think of that people are not actually quite stupid. We really consider the consequences of one invention, especially if it comes to our extinction. But then then the funniest thing happened. No, thank you. Then they talk about the impacts of artificial intelligence, and then they talk about people that will now be totally replaced, and that the artificial intelligence will overcome us in the intelligence region. But what we actually here again see that the side of opposition is not actively listening to the side of proposition. When we say that AI is going to be controlled by humans, that AI is going to will not have the possibility of creativity, they're not stating why should it have the possibility of creativity. They're not giving any example of AI today that have the possibility of creativity. Where do we see this? Because AI in today's world, or AI in today's world is developing so slowly that we cannot state that at any point in the next 200 years we will have something that will overcome humans. But what we actually can say is that the AI in the next 200 years will help us to develop, will help us to give this subsistence, will help us to ensure self-worth, and will help us to achieve many benefits that we talked throughout this whole debate. What we actually stated in this debate is that the impact of artificial intelligence, especially that were not tackled by the side of opposition, because during the whole debate they are only stating, we will have the bad impacts, but they are not trying to rebut anything. They're not explaining why are these impacts that we are talking about bad. How is this going to badly impact any society? When we state that the third world will have the benefits from this, then we are stating that something good will happen, that some benefit is happening. They can't just say, even in today's society we have inventions. We agree, we have inventions, and those inventions happen. In that moment they agree that they support researchers, and that they support further development of the society that will help. Then when they are stating that other countries will need to buy this, they're again not listening to us, because in that case we are saying no poor country will buy it. The international community will give them artificial intelligence to help to develop. They're again not listening to our cases. So the whole point in this debate from the side of opposition about socialization and everything else was actually again faulty, because people are not dead still. We can still talk to people and still have interactions with other people because nobody killed them. But what he actually stated in this debate, the side of opposition doesn't understand artificial intelligence and doesn't understand the impact of artificial intelligence. This is why I beg you to propose this motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Hawking has said that we are not yet prepared for the artificial intelligence. In my speech, I would like to bring this abstract debate to the particular consequences and show you that we are not prepared yet for the artificial intelligence, and it will inevitably lead to either extinction or superiority of artificial intelligence, which what was the fact that the team of opposition was substantially claiming throughout the whole debate. So the first clash was about the somehow of equal distribution. The team of proposition came and said that when people will not have to work all these jobs which are not so important or which are boring, and they would be able to be replaced by the robots. Therefore, the government will raise more, will get more money from these companies, and therefore these people will have some basic needs. But this is not true and not right on two layers. The first layer is it's simply unfair, because if the one who has decided, no thank you, to study, for example, humanities or something like that, and his job will not be replaceable, therefore he will not get some kind of your basic need, and therefore it is principally unfair.
Sir.
No thank you. The second point is that where would you get all of this money if all people will be unemployed and they will have some kind of all pure basic needs? Explain us, where would you get all of this money you are talking about throughout the whole debate? And the second point is that why it's wrong is that people will not have an opportunity to go and to raise to the higher class, because they would be left only on the basic needs.
Sir.
Yes, please.
But don't you think, just by giving everyone the same starting point, the same basic needs, they will have better chances instead of being...
yes, but your premise is wrong, because you haven't claimed and you haven't analyzed that you will have the reasonable and the sufficient amount of money to give to all of these people. The second point is that a very definition of artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all agreed today about that artificial intelligence is something that have better cognitive skills than people, that can, no thank you, that can learn things faster and use all of these capacities which are beyond our understanding. Therefore, we claimed in our first speech that it goes somehow inevitably beyond our understanding, because some kind of higher intelligence or higher entity, no thank you, with higher intelligence will outsmart us as the proposition approved and we've all agreed about. Therefore, it has some negative consequences which I would like to address. The first one, we mentioned that history is telling us that throughout the history we may see that once there was some higher entity, for example, from the fish, there was elementary fish, and then there was shark. The shark has eaten fish because he was smarter, he was stronger, and he was quicker. And therefore, no, thank you. And therefore, once the artificial intelligence will have all these capacities, and we will not be able to somehow control it, because as we explained in the debate, we are just offering the basis of artificial intelligence. We are just creating the very basics, because once we've all agreed that it can learn, it can use cognitive skills, therefore it can develop. And since it can develop, no thank you, since it can develop, then it can outsmart us, and this has consequences. Either we will not be able to control us, and it is not sure that it will have the same moral values as we do. It is not sure that it will have same logic as we do. Therefore, its decision might be different, and therefore it might decide to kill all of us, because we will not be nothing, we will not be important to it. So these are possible consequences. And the second point is about dehumanizing, which they didn't really respond to our case. We are talking about the fact that once the robots or the artificial intelligence will be present, then the human it has two layers. On the first layer, for example, when you go to the cafe, you want this waiter to talk to you, to smile on you, to present emotions to you. And once you are saying that this artificial intelligence will be cheaper, therefore the coffee shop owner would implement the cheaper waiter, the robot waiter. And we believe, as the team of opposition, that people has a right to be in a social community. People has the right to have social contact and social interaction with other people, because that is the fact that make us human. That is the fact that we want smile, we want human reactions to our behavior, or we want human reactions. And as a consequence, it will not be possible, because we will take this human interaction from poor people, which would not be able to somehow go to more expensive restaurants or at ATC. And the second point is that
before we continue,
yes.
How do you believe that? Do you believe that in status quo you don't have machines that make you coffee or that replace waiters and similar things?
I'm not saying that these are machines which make you coffee. We are talking about artificial intelligence which will come and serve you coffee and tell you that they have to pay 20 kunas. And we think that it is not right, because the people want social interaction. Though, to summarize this debate, we pointed out two clashes. The first clash was about equal distribution, which we proved that it is unfair on several layers, and therefore we think that this clash is on our side. The second point is about the very definition of artificial intelligence. The example about chimpanzees is the very particular example of the fact that once we will become less intelligent and we will not be able to somehow link two things. Even now, we are not able to look how the AI is working. We are not able to look on the thinking process of it, and we just see the outcome of it. So, as we are not sure that what the outcome will be, as we are not prepared for the artificial intelligence, we believe that the motion should not be supported because it dehumanizes us. It possibly may lead to extinction, and thirdly, it will have negative consequences on humanity at all. Therefore, you should back for opposition.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might as well be my last speech as a high school debater ever. And I'm very sorry to say that proposition did a really poor job in rebattling our substantive line, but just saying that this is a definition debate when it was rather about challenging the premise that they did not explain at all. But firstly, since their substantive line was debated more or went further, I'm gonna conclude that and show you that even though if this was a definition debate, when it was actually just pseudo-definition debate of proposition side, we are still going, we should still oppose, and then I'm going to explain why this was just a premise and it can actually all happen. So they are saying that they can somehow raise living standards by gaining money from taxes. Well, what we say is that we didn't really get a complex analysis of how they will get sufficient amount of money for all those people that will lose their jobs. Sufficient enough for them to satisfy their basic needs and to have a sustainable life. And that was just missing. But even if that did happen, they didn't tell us why it is fair for some people to still have a job and work for their living, while half of those people don't have to do anything to get their lives as served on a silver plate. And even if that wasn't true, we are going to explain to you that losing your job is going to lose your purpose in life and your meaning and our substantive. So now, what was the problem of side of proposition? They are saying that we can control the development of AI. As we have explained, as we have provided you many explanation and analysis of of how we actually cannot control this, and that is, first of all, that it evolves itself, that it is evolving, that it itself enhances, that we are not in the hands of creating the AI, it actually creates itself by enhancing its powers, as we do, as we recognize our weaknesses, and for example, exercise to get healthier or learn problem-solving skills. That's what computers can do, and that's how they can exceed our understanding and cognitive capacities and achieve higher intelligence. And we are telling you that there's no way to stop this once it starts. And the only thing the proposition has said is, well, we can. And now this wasn't definitely enough. And even they were so so big cowards in this debate that they called it a definition debate, which clearly isn't. Now, and what is going to happen if this premise is actually wrong? Well, we told you that we are most probably going to extinct. First of all, if there is a superior species, as I explained, they will, because they have higher intelligence, they got control, they got power, they may wipe us out, extinguish us, as we wiped out other species, as we enslaved other species, as we use them for our benefits. The AI can do that to us, and if they decide to serve to us, they will dehumanize us, because we will lose social aspect of life and our purpose, and we will no longer be humans. Thank you.
It is very unfortunate that the shark ate the fish. But I'm sure that if the fish was the one that created the shark and controlled its growth, it wouldn't let the shark eat it in the first place. That's what I'm going to talk about in this reply speech. The first thing I'm going to talk about is exactly the fish and the shark thing. And while we gave you a very, very concrete definition from an MIT professor about the AI needing human guidelines and programming for its development, all they said was, well, they can't. We see this as a big problem because they keep telling us that we did something which actually they did. So what I'm going to tell you today is how our side is the one that in the end will bring so much prosper that you can't even imagine. What we're saying, and we all agreed on this AI's great precision and great precision and efficiency and the great intelligence, which comes to the point that the AI can do various sorts of jobs and is very efficient in them. And that's why we said that eventually the AI will replace most of human labor. And then what happens? You have, as for the fourth time we explain this, and I'm really agitated because the side opposition keeps refusing to listen. But why not repeat this again? You have AI, which is extremely cheap for it to work because you don't have to pay its salary, you don't have to pay its vacation, you don't have to pay it anything, which means that the companies get more profit, which means that the state can now tax much more these industries, which means that they now can provide more basic income for its citizens. And we're not saying that people that will still work as lawyers will not get basic income once they lose their jobs. On the contrary, we believe in the higher purpose of humans. We believe that the purpose of humans is not working 12 hours a day and working a repetitive job. No, we believe that's the purpose of the AI. We believe that the purpose of humans is to self-actualize. We believe that the purpose of humans is to push this society forward. And this is the opportunity that we give the human race with the AI. Because we give it an opportunity with this basic income for them to do whatever they want. They can educate, they can work, they don't have to work. And when they say that they do not socialize, this is completely wrong. Today we have coffee machines and we are very happy when we get a very nice latte from the coffee machine and we're not missing any social connection. But even if we know this psychology theory, when we say that when a human works something he doesn't want, and when he does it for someone else, and when he does it repetitively, without him getting the benefits of its work, without him reaping the fruits of his labor, he gets alienated, both from the society and from the work. So we believe that we're giving people the chance to socialize, because now they can do what they want. They can go to the coffee shop without any worries that they might get evicted tomorrow. They can go to the coffee shop and talk with their friends, or do math tasks all day long with their math friends, and no one can stop them because they have all the basic needs that they need in their life. They now no longer have to work 12 hours a day in a mine and then practice math for half an hour because they have to sleep. Now they have all time in the world to practice math, because we believe humans as such deserve some amount of money, deserve a dignity in their life for them to have basic incomes. And if they think higher of themselves, let them go educate, let them work in these higher jobs where they can actually make a difference. And we believe that because we offer you an almost perfect world, and this time it's achievable, we beg you to propose in this debate.